The next step is handling the emotions, and this is what people don't like. So Pandora's box opens once you acknowledge that grief, or you're already there, and it feels almost like a big ball of spaghetti, and you don't really know which end to start at. When you talk with people, especially people who have been trained, like we have, or you're with, again, a pastor or someone who's lived some life before you, it becomes more like a mosaic of emotions and less like a ball of spaghetti. And that's the goal, because the emotions are not the problem. So how we describe emotions to our clients is it's like a dashboard on a car. So cars wouldn't be great. You can drive a car without a dashboard, but you have no idea how fast you're going. You don't know how much gas you have left in your tank. You don't know if your air pressure's off. So, like I said, you can get from point A to point B, but you might be going 90 in a 30, and your engine starts smoking. Oh, well, that would have been nice to know 2 weeks ago that I've been out of oil, things like that. So emotions function that same way. So anger lets you know that action is needed, some kind of action. Anger doesn't just mean, obviously, there can be revenge and resentment, things like that. But if you're angry and you're not sure why, it's letting you know some kind of action is needed. Then we have grief. The purpose of grief is to flush out your body. So it's intended to release the old to make room for the new. Grief and anger are not a problem. There's a function there. And then in the midst of grief, you can also have little pockets of joy. And joy is almost like a little bit of hit of gas that keeps you going. It is refreshing. There's oftentimes people say, I went and saw a funny movie and my mom just passed away. Is that okay? Yes, that's definitely part of moving through grief. Again, there's layers that's complicated there. As counselors, what we can do is also help you see perhaps those emotions have been damaged. Depending on the household you grew up in, maybe it wasn't acceptable to have an emotion other than we're happy or we're okay. So if someone asks how you're doing, oh, I'm fine, or I'm great. And in that, no one is ever just those two. Like I said, we're a mosaic of emotions, not just those two. So if you haven't been given permission, either by yourself or by your family from a young age, perhaps you need help to learn what your body's actually telling you. So maybe that fine is actually 10 different layers of emotions that are just not being dealt with yet. The other part of that, too, is also realizing what you're able to do. So I'm going to go back to the car metaphor. If you're, again, out of oil, you're low on gas, you put tape over the dashboard because you don't want to deal with those pesky emotions because they're messy and we can't control them. And you're going 30 and it's a 70 and the police car flags you over. Oh, it's okay, officer. It smokes sometimes and, my tire just falls off every once in a while. Just get out, slap it back on. It's fine. Well, you're a danger to other drivers on the road, and it's your responsibility to recognize that your car is not doing very well. And it's your responsibility to peel off the dashboard and go, ugh, well, this is going to be like $3,000 in the shop. Not great. But that is your responsibility because the way you are and what you're able to do affects other people. So if your family needs a well-tuned car, it's your time to go in the shop. We would say that the shop would be, again, with a counselor that you really feel that you trust and bond with. Could be a mentor at church, could be a Bible study. But again, the key is connection.